What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all fantastic out there in your worlds. I just want to start, as always, by thanking you guys for swinging by the channel to catch a video. You guys are all aces in my book, and today we're having some fun. We're talking about this new crime drama called Hustler, starring Jennifer Lopez and Constance Wu, written and directed by Lorene Scafaria. This story is actually based on a 2015 New York Magazine article from Jessica Pressler, and it depicts the real-life events around a group of former strippers that create this small criminal ring on their former Wall Street clients that over a handful of years ends up netting them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I have a feeling a lot of people are probably going to turn their heads and kind of scoff at this movie and not give it an honest shot, thinking that it's simply just selling sex. And sure, the movie sells a lot of sex appeal and plenty of materialistic high fashion trendiness, but underneath that, I gotta say, is a fleshed out story that shows just enough effort in exploring who these women were, why they were faced to do these things, and how their relationships played into it all of which really had me mentally invested. And yes, there is a lot of edgy sexual themed visuals, but we're all adults here. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. It's certainly nothing that we won't see again, and I gotta admit, it wasn't very gratuitous. You can easily find more nudity in movies that aren't even about stripping, so this film does not rely on those elements, and for that reason, I gotta say it turned out to be much more of a compelling narrative than I was expecting it to be. Word out of tip on this movie has been relatively positive, and I can see why, because I gotta say I had a great time with it. I did enjoy learning about this subculture, specifically during the era of Wall Street and the boom, and then the subsequent repercussions when the economy tanked and how everything changed. I really found myself easily connected to the character of Destiny, played by Constance Wu, because I thought I could really understand why she thought she had to do what she did, regardless of whether or not I agreed with her or the group's actions or not, and I thought it was primarily because of the story layering overall and the performances. I really enjoyed how this story was told and how it was just very matter of fact about the events that take place. It doesn't glorify them or make martyrs out of these women, and sure, there are a couple of scenes that did explore the looking for work aspect and some of the life issues that brought these people together that eventually made them do these things, but it also does not hold back in showing their taste for lavish living, with routine scenes capturing the excessive spending, with characters showering each other with luxurious gifts, which is all far beyond the point of just trying to build a facade to use on these men. Yes, these women did what they did so they could survive and pay the bills, but they also had a materialistic style of living that led to just more and more, which led to their downfall. Scafaria really structures the script nicely to convey each of these stages as they escalate, and it was honestly very interesting to see unfold. The stripper life is laid out early on, the friendships between the characters and the missing pieces in their lives that really united them are expressed as well. Then this small scheme eventually turns to just continued felony level activity, which begins to attract some unwanted attention. Then things start to get a little bit tense, and I thought seeing how they just each reacted to the stresses and how they just influenced their relationships did have a surprising amount of dramatic intrigue to it. Because like I mentioned earlier, I thought the performances overall were pretty solid and everybody was great in their roles. Jennifer Lopez has been getting some buzz from this performance, and while I think she was perfectly suited to embody this role, I just wouldn't go as far as to say that she really did a deep dive on this character. I mean, I thought she was fantastic, from both the dancing aspects to just the attitude and the visual gravitas of the character, which really allowed her to capture that leadership vibe with some authenticity. But I gotta say, she also very much felt like she was playing the role as Jennifer Lopez. I think the tone of phrase, the mannerisms, the gestures, and the expressions all, to me, felt much more like Jenny from the Block than it did Ramona, the former stripper turned criminal entrepreneur. But how am I supposed to know? I've never been out with Ramona, I've never been drugged and had her take all my money, so maybe she was playing it pretty authentic. It could be just me, I just never felt like I wasn't watching Lopez being Lopez, but it wasn't something that hindered the film at all. I actually think it led to Constance Wu coming in and really stealing the spotlight in terms of just an emotionally driven performance that can resonate with people. Her character is the most developed, but I think Wu really took the material up a notch by shedding that fresh off the boat sitcom gloss to really disappear inside of this character. I thought Wu brought a ton of heart and sincerity to the role, and I thought watching her just try to find balance in her life was very emotionally gripping at times. She also just captured a fantastic chemistry with Lopez that was able to truly create that bond between them that this story relied on. on, and around them the rest of the cast all worked for the roles. And I gotta say, with a witty sense of humor and Scafaria's script and a nice comical timing from the cast, I felt there was a consistent humor which would nicely break the mood when needed, in addition to really giving the characters just endless amounts of charisma. Drawbacks to this movie would be kind of small. I don't think the story had a consistent flow to it. I think the first and the final acts were very nice bookends to everything, but I do think the middle could have been cleaned up and tightened up here and there a little bit. There were a couple of repetitive scenes where the plot felt like it was circling around itself more than it was moving forward. I thought it resulted in the movie lasting probably 15 minutes longer than it needed to. I also felt that other than Constance Wu's character, the rest of the characters were not really explored. They were more character types. I think that would go for Jennifer Lopez's character as well, but in this one, the scheme itself is much more the focus, and Wu's character is fleshed out nicely, so there's enough substance to balance everything out. And in the end, I had a good time with this movie. It was very entertaining. It certainly creates a just fitting atmosphere that effectively pulls the viewer into the time period of the culture as the economy crashes and this group finds other means to make money. And Lopez says it best in the final line of the movie: the entire country is a strip club, the money is thrown around, and everybody does the dance. So I'm going to give Hustlers a solid 80% on the entertainment meter. I gotta say, if you like the trailers, I recommend giving it a shot because there's a layering to it that will provide a surprising amount of depth. Now for today's My Silver Screen recommendations, I'm going to be selecting another solid Jennifer Lopez film from the 90s called Out of Sight, co-starring George Clooney, as well as the charming comedy from writer-director Lorene Scafaria called The Meddler, as well as the 1998 Ice Cube movie The Players Club that has a little bit more darker take on the stripping subculture. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.